All right, now to the other big breaking story tied to the indictment of former President Donald Trump. Court documents just released show he is facing 37 counts tied to having classified documents and could spend the rest of his life behind bars.
Yeah, Big 7's Henry Rossoff has reviewed the 49-page indictment and joins us now with more and a breakdown. Henry.
Hi, Tams. And Special Prosecutor Jack Smith says he will move for a speedy trial after former President Trump appears in Miami federal court next Tuesday. The former president is not just accused of having those classified documents, but also showing them to people and then covering up the fact that he had them.
We have one set of laws in this country, and they apply to everyone.
Special Prosecutor Jack Smith has charged former President Donald Trump with 37 counts of keeping top-secret documents and covering it up. The indictment explains how the former president had a habit of creating boxes of notes, letters, press clippings, and official documents. When he was voted out of the White House, he brought them to his Mar-a-Lago home, which is, of course, also a private club. He's alleged to have left the documents in a ballroom, a bathroom and shower, office space, his bedroom, and a storage room. The documents were, quote, regarding defense and weapons capabilities of both the United States and foreign countries, United States nuclear programs, potential vulnerabilities of the United States and its allies to military attack.
Our laws that protect national defense information are critical to the safety and security of the United States, and they must be enforced. Violations of those laws put our country at risk.
Former President Trump has maintained he did nothing wrong.
I'm an innocent man.
He has at times claimed he had every right to the documents and declassified some while president. But the indictment paints a different picture, including a private recorded conversation where Mr. Trump was showing them to a writer and a publisher. During that conversation, he seemed to acknowledge that was not the case. The former president said, quote, "It is like highly confidential, secret. This is secret information. Look at this." Then he admits, "See, as president, I could have declassified it. Now I can't, but it is still a secret." The indictment explains 5 different ways Mr. Trump, along with an aide who was also charged, tried to obstruct the investigation. First, he said he did not have the documents. Then he ordered the storage boxes moved. At one point, the former president suggested hiding or destroying the documents, turned only some of the documents over to authorities, and certified he turned over everything when he had, in fact, not.
Applying those laws, collecting facts, that's what determines the outcome of an investigation. Nothing more and nothing less.
Now, even with these details, you have the former president and other Republicans, for that matter, including those running against him in 2024, saying this is political prosecution. They're asking why President Joe Biden has not been charged in his document investigation. We're going to get into that a little bit more in 6, but the long story short is here, as we were talking about, there's the alleged crime and the alleged cover-up. We don't really have that alleged cover-up, and that's very important when you indict these sorts of cases. So we're digging into that at 6 o'clock.
What I'm really curious about is, we obviously watched the first indictment of the former president here in Manhattan. That played out, and we saw Republicans really rally around the president. We saw his poll numbers increase as he runs for president again. I'm curious if this case, which is so different, and the stakes are so much higher, it would seem, with our national security, if this will be different.
Well, you've noticed a pullback in the rhetoric a little bit. Former President Mike Pence, who only just declared, was calling this a political prosecution. He's now seen a few of the details, and he said, well, let's take a look and see what this is. Nikki Haley, for example, is still being hawkish and saying this is political. He shouldn't be tried for this. And then generally they all try to pivot off of this because it isn't a strong suit. Because as you mentioned, Corey, as you well know, Tamsin, his polling went through the roof after he was charged in Manhattan. So they're worried this will just hurt them from a raw political standpoint.